Hi there everybody, and welcome to lesson 2 about how to use Google Docs. In this lesson we're going to look a little bit more in detail at how you format Google Docs. We're not going to do all the formatting options, but just some of the must-have basics. Now to begin with, the first thing I need to do is I need to add some of the source material for this lesson into my drive so that it's there available for us to work on. Remember how we did that? If not, take another look. I'm going to go into the Shared With Me folder inside Google Drive, and it's this folder here that I am interested in working in. So I'm going to click on it, and remember I've got a number of options. Either add it directly to the root of my drive, select a particular folder in my drive to add it to, or use the menu option here. Remember the other way was just to drag it along into my drive? Let's do that because it's easier. Click and drag into my drive. And now we're ready to start with today's lesson. So let's go and take a look. So now that I'm in my drive, there's the Google Docs videos folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a brand new document. Do you remember how to do that? Very, very simple. Take a look. There's the big Create button. Click on it, and I'm going to create a new document. Now it's going to be a new blank document that is ready for me to type in. But I don't want to do too much typing because I've got some of this from previous documents that I've made already. So it's going to save me some time. I want to show you how we copy and paste. So I'm going to go back into my Google Drive, and I'm going to open up an existing document that happens to be inside lesson 2. And the first thing I'm going to do is open up this address document. That's got the address that I'm interested in. Now, the same as in all word processing packages, there are a number of ways with which you can select text. Let me show them to you. The first way is obviously the simplest, using your mouse. Click and drag to select all the text that you would like. The other way, remember, is to use your keyboard. I'm going to just position my mouse at the start, and using the arrow keys and shift, I can select all the lines like that. Whichever way you find easiest, you do that. But now I want to copy this text so that I can paste it into my new document. Number of ways you can do that. From the Edit menu, you can click on the copy button, but notice there that it's got a neat, handy shortcut for you, Control+C. So all that you would need to do is select and either use the menu or press Control and C at the same time, and it has copied that text to the clipboard. Now I'm going to go into my previous document and I'm going to paste it down there. Have a look. Come back here, click on my untitled document still, and again, either use the Edit menu and click on Paste, or use the keyboard shortcut Control+V. And there I've pasted that into my document. Now I need to do some typing. I'm going to enter in the date and a salutation and a subject line. So the date today is the 17th of February 2014. Not sure when you're going to be watching this video, but that's today's date. I'm also going to add in a salutation of Dear Sir and a subject line. The subject line is meeting to discuss business opportunity. So like we would in any word processor, you just type. But now we can start doing some of the formatting. So the first thing I'm going to do is right align the date. So click and drag to select, and then I'm going to find the alignment buttons. Now because my monitor here is at quite a low resolution, all the additional menu buttons are underneath more. Now you'll probably find on your laptop or computer, all the menu buttons are in one neat ribbon. But if I click on more, there you'll find the alignment buttons. So this one is going to be right align. So simply click on that and it will right align the date for me. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this part of the letter subject, bold. Now, like you would find in Microsoft Word or OpenOffice, the symbol for bold is that big capital B. So I'm going to just click on that to make that bold. The next thing I want to do, though, is I want to change the font of this letter. So I'm going to select all of my text, and I'm going to go to this menu here, which is all of the available fonts. Now, you'll see that the initial list might seem quite limited, but there are a whole lot of additional fonts that you can access by clicking on the More Fonts button. What that will do is it will access these fonts online and it will apply them to your document. But for now, we're just going to stick with the fonts that are in the first part of the menu. I would like to change the font here to Times New Roman. That just seems more business-like to me. But the other thing you'll notice, though, is that the address font and the rest of the font is in a different color. I would like all of my font to be in this nice dark gray. So once again, we're going to select all the font that we'd like to change. And I'm going to go to the Change Text Color button, which is over here. Text Color, click on the arrow to get the drop-down menu, and I think it's this gray, dark gray number 2 that I'd like to use to apply. And there you see the colors are now exactly the same. Now obviously, a letter isn't just the address and the subject line. I need the body of the letter. Now fortunately, I've got that typed up in another document that we can copy and paste from. So let's practice our copying and pasting again. First thing I'm going to do is go and find that letter. It's this letter over here, business letter. So I'm going to open that. And as before, I'm going to select all of the text that is inside this letter. And I'm going to copy that. I'm going to press Ctrl-C, or remember, use the Edit menu here to copy. I can close the letter now. I've got the text on the clipboard. Go back into my untitled document. Now, I need to paste that letter underneath the subject title here, the letter title. So I'm going to enter in 2 lines, and then I'm going to Ctrl+V to paste the rest of the text in. Now you'll see that there are some glaring differences between the text at the top of the letter and the text at the bottom. So let's practice all the formatting that we've already done. The first formatting I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font to Times New Roman. So I've selected all of my text, and I'm going to go to my font drop-down. That's not the font, there's the font drop-down, and select Times New Roman. Now, you might be wondering, just incidentally, why there is no word like a font name written in that box there. So the reason it does this is because currently in this document, there are 2 fonts being used. And so Google doesn't really know which font to display in that menu as the active font. That's the only reason for why there's no font name written in that box. So as before, I'm going to change the font type to Times New Roman. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color. So there's the text color box, and was dark gray number 2. Let's see how our letter is looking now. We still have a difference here between the top part of the letter and the bottom part. Let's see what that difference is. So we can see that the font sizes are very different. Now if I select this top bit of text, we can see that the font size is currently 11 point. But if I select anything from the bottom, we can see that the font size is currently 18. So I obviously need all of my font size to be the same, otherwise this letter doesn't look very professional. Let's change the bottom part of the text to font size 11. So once again, I'm going to select all of this text and change the font size to font size 11. Now our letter is starting to look better. Now you might have noticed in the letter there was this highlighted bit of text. Let's take a look at what that's all about. So here, because this was a template letter that I pulled, I've got this very handy highlight here of Insert Company Name. So I'm going to do that exactly. I'm going to insert the company name, which is Hi-Tech Systems. Now you'll notice that we still have Hi-Tech Systems highlighted in this way. It's almost like I took a highlighter across the page and just highlighted Hi-Tech Systems. But I don't want that in my final copy of the letter. So let's see how to remove that. So the way to remove that is to select the text as you would ordinarily. And you'll see here, now that I've selected the text color drop-down shows me that that text is highlighted. If I click on that drop-down menu, you'll see that right now it defaults to text color. But this other tab, Highlights, is where the highlight color is currently being applied. So you can see that you can apply any highlight color you like, even a custom color, but for now, I want the highlight color to be none. So I'm going to click on that option there. And the last thing I want to do is I just want to emphasize this Hi-Tech Systems business name a little bit. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to make that name bold and italicized. Well, I hope you can see how formatting Google Docs is really, really simple and very, very similar to any other word processing package you've worked in. Now, next time, I'm going to show you a couple more features about how to format Google Docs. But until then, bye-bye.